The advance of these glaciers are why large figurative bites look like they were cut out of the landscape, as these mark what were originally higher points of the volcano which were carved away and stripped of elevation by the sheer mass of advancing glacial ice. Also, some of the sediments moved by the glacier were placed as it retreated underneath what is today the research station, hence the rugged topography there. The exact history of when these glaciers existed isn't 100% clear, but we know for a fact that they existed between at least 55,000 years ago and 17,000 years ago. Each of this volcano's darker black-colored lava flows visible from satellite are interpreted to be under 11,700 years old, with an estimated more than 120 such eruptions occurring during this timespan. In other words, the Marion Island Shield volcano seems to erupt an average of once a century. These eruptions seem to largely start at or near Marion Island's summit area known as its Central Highlands, before propagating in one direction, sometimes all the way to the coast. This is why so many of this island's cinder cones and lava flows seem to follow a perfectly straight line, as the fact their source vents do. This pattern was mostly followed during the island's two historical known eruptions, which in 1980 involved a fissure that propagated all historical eruptions the way to the western coastline and covered 1.05 square kilometers in a layer of lava, while in 2004 a much smaller eruption from a singular vent only covered 0.59 square kilometers in a layer of basaltic lava. Marion Island and Prince Edward Island are both Marion hotspot track shield volcanoes which rise approximately 5,000 meters or 16,400 feet from the ocean floor. If you were to create a line going north-northeast through these two volcanoes, you would eventually encounter a raised oceanic plateau that runs all the way to Madagascar. This is no coincidence, as this represents volcanism generated by the movement of a mantle plume known as the Marion hotspot. The mantle plume has essentially remained stationary since then while the overlying tectonic plates have not, hence the visible chain you see. This chain led all the way to Prince Edward Island which was created first and Marion Island which was created second, with